No pure Vincy on the girls' high school would be complete without a word from the sitting headmistress. Latoya Deroche-John is the sitting headmistress. She was appointed in December of 2023, and she started out as headmistress on the very first day of the first term of 2024. Latoya, welcome to Pure Vincy, and thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to share in the 114th anniversary celebrations of the St. Vincent Girls High School.
Thank you so much for having me. It's certainly a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Listen, you are one of the people who has had that rare experience of experiencing high school as a student, as a teacher, and then as headmistress. When you first went into girls' high school, what were your ambitions?
Strange enough, when I sat the common entrance examination, there was a composition component of that exam. And the question was on what you'd like to be when you grow up. And I wrote on wanting to be a teacher. So that was my transition from primary education into secondary education. Now, when I graduated from the community college, I graduated as valedictorian of the community college. And when I gave my address, I think at that point I had shifted to wanting to become a lawyer. But I don't think my heart ever left education. And because I graduated as valedictorian, I was offered a position in teaching. They said to me that I could go to a primary school or I could go to a secondary school. It was my gap year before going off to university. And I thought, oh, let's just have fun at the primary school. I was attached to the Kingston Preparatory School. And that cemented my love for teaching. I was appointed to grade 1, and the effect those students had on me, I know I was going to enter the profession when I was finished studying.
So it was always in the cards.
It was always in the cards.
Who are some of
It's
the
the
teachers?
greatest profession on earth, Cleo.
Most noble. Who were some of the teachers who influenced you as a student?
Okay. 𝘠𝑒𝑐𝑗's belief in me never left. She was very dear to me. You know, she believed I could accomplish things that I didn't even believe. You know, so she had a profound impact on me. From primary school, it would be Theresa Kulzak. She taught me from grade, what they have now as grade 1. She lives in the US. Miss Kulzak also had an influence on me. Ian Sardine, secondary school, Margaret Solin. You know, she was another powerful influence on my life.
Okay. And what would you say are some of your treasured memories from your days as a student?
Guiding. I was steeped in guiding. Those who know me a lot from girl guiding. And so being able to attend different camps, having the opportunity to lead throughout school, ensuring that I left the GHS as a rounded individual, that was solid for me. I was involved in a lot of leadership programs, so young leaders, you know, that also had a lasting impact on me. RBTT Young Leaders Program, you know, I thought that was a solid program. Those are the things I think helped to shape me. The academics did, but I really excelled in anything that involved leadership.
What about being exposed to leadership at such a young age through the Young Leaders Program, being a prefect, and the different things guiding that you found yourself involved in? What about those institutions would make you recommend them to a parent and say, this is a good place for your child to be?
They taught you to be disciplined, to be organized, and to be goal-oriented. The discipline in order for you to juggle and manage the academics with, you had to be you wanted to excel in all of these things. And so your time management skills came in to play. You had to be disciplined with getting your schoolwork done and achieving the things in different year programs, in different programs for get students in terms of being a prefect. So the discipline, the time management skills, the focus, these are organizations that help to promote those types of attributes. And they did well for me. They did very well for me.
Obviously. What are some of the things, I mean, we talked about the pretty part of school. What are some of the things that irked you, that upset you as a student?
My GHS experience was a really great one, you know. It was a really great one. I can't think of anything that happened that should not have happened. My journey, I really think that my journey was a unique one. I had my challenges in school, and they made me better. So I don't know, some may argue the white cookery uniform, but I tell them all the time that white uniform taught me how to wear white today, you know, and to not get it dirty and to not get it messed up. So I think we had a great journey back then that really molded us into strong women, you know, capable of achieving.
And what are some of your most rewarding moments as a teacher at the Girls High School?
I've had many. I have had many. Before becoming headmistress, I was in the classroom for 18 years. And if you check my record, 17 of those years, I was fortunate enough to have 100% passes at economics and accounting.
Congratulations.
But for me, it wasn't just about the passes. And, you know, Cleo, some girls would say, oh, she was mean, she was rough, she was tough as a teacher. But they all left school with their subjects, and I took my responsibility as a teacher very seriously. Their parents sent them here to receive an education, and I thought that they should leave with the best education that they could possibly have. And sometimes some students aren't as structured as others, so I had to be firm. You know, I had to be firm because I was, again, very goal-oriented. You must leave here equipped and able to take on whatever task your heart desired. I don't think, I didn't want to be in a situation where I taught students and then, you know, when they left here, they had to be wondering, what is my future going to look like? I was always a very serious teacher in terms of academics. So in terms of rewarding, that would have to be one of the highlights. I led the number 11 Girl Guide company for many years. On my return to the Girls High School, it was the most successful company, one of the most successful companies at the GHS. And I am proud, I'm very proud of the girls who left the number 11 Guide company and all the different things they're achieving today. So to be able to give back to an organization that gave to me was extremely powerful. I left the guiding movement as division commissioner for Kingstown and the Grenadines, with responsibility for all the units in Kingstown and the Grenadines. So I think I was fortunate to have given back to that organization. Along my journey, I was able to win that Young Leaders program on 3 occasions as the teacher mentor, and place second once. So having a run at the RBTT Young Leaders program as a teacher mentor and winning the program on 3 occasions and placing second was also another highlight for me. I was the first head of the the business department that was established at the girls' high school. And I fought for business. Clear, I'm still fighting for business. I want us to be seen as equal to any other subject area that students decide to pursue. And so having a now business and TVET unit at our school is something that I am extremely proud of. So I've had some wins, you know. I've had some wins, not to mention the streak of wins that Staff House gave me over the years, the many wins our gems gave us over the years. So, you know, I've had a lot to celebrate.
What do you think influenced your teaching style?
My mom, I think she influenced it. I remember when I first started teaching, she would get me to sit on the porch every afternoon with the textbooks and the lesson plan format. At that time, in my first year, I had not attended Teachers College, and she would insist that I plan these lessons before I go into class. And I think that type of structure really, it put me in at a different, you know, I was held to a different standard by my home before we could even talk about the workplace. And, you know, that type of guidance and mentorship was instrumental, especially in the beginning of my teaching career at the GHS, you know. So I think I have gotten a lot of guidance there. And then the headmistresses I worked under, they were really a pleasure. You know, they were really a pleasure to work under. From each of them, they had a different style, and you learned different techniques from them.
So if you were to look back on that sort of foundation that you had and take the experience from the different people that you interacted with and those who influenced you, and draw from that lessons that you'd want to pass on to incoming teachers or perhaps existing teachers, what would your pointers be?
Couple things. The first for me is we have to coexist in this place as teachers, as colleagues. We have different roles. I think the roles are often misconstrued when people think of a headmistress. My role is administrative. It's different to that of a teacher. So I don't necessarily feel that I am better than or on top of, or yes, I'm in a supervisory role, but my task is different. And I think the staff gets that. You are just as important. I am important. Our admin staff is important. In order for the whole equation, for the whole thing to come together. So for me, number one would be that work must be a happy place. This is where we spend most of our hours, and you'll feel that vibe when you come onto the compound. Work must be a happy place. We're not gonna always get it right. And it's not every day that you'd come to work and be happy and jolly. But if you come to work and you're happy more days than you come to work and you're frustrated, then I think we're doing okay. So for me, number one, they must love coming to work. Clear, I love to come to work. When I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like I'm burdened. I love to, and I've always loved to come to my job. Number two, the teachers will tell you that I am very firm when it comes to some things. Lesson planning is one of them. Again, because my foundation was that you should be prepared for class. And so I think for some period of time, you know, because we're the girls' high school and the girls are brilliant, we take lesson planning for granted. We feel like we could go in and we could ad-lib, and they're bright, so they will get it. But what I think I have been able to convince the teachers is that, listen, if we're doing so well, what if we plan those lessons and get the girls to really understand the content and we deliver it in the way we are supposed to deliver? Look what happened after, you know, the last year and a half on insisting on lesson plans. We have a 98.9% pass rate at 𝐶𝑰𝑚. And we not only have that, we are peaking. We are almost equal in the grade 1s to the grade 2s. You know? So for me, happy place, lesson planning. We have to take our responsibility as pastoral leaders seriously. So you have to be firm as a teacher when you need to be, but a firm teacher and needs to be someone who the students can go to at any time to talk about their home situation, to talk about what's happening, you know, in class, what's not going right. So for me, pastoral leadership is very important. That is a term that was coined, you know, in education, really promoted by our former headmistress, Ms. Andrea Bowman. And I think through her leadership, I really take pastoral leadership seriously. If you speak to any young lady who, you know, I was fortunate enough to be form teacher for, they would tell you that I take my responsibilities as a form teacher very seriously. And so I expect my form teachers now to be on the ball when it comes to pastoral leadership. And training. I'm a headmistress that's big on training. So my professional development weeks are always grand and big, but full with knowledge for the teachers to refuel. I think it's important as educators that there is a period in time when we learn. We are not too big or too old to learn. And I think at the beginning of the school year in the government mandated professional development week, I need us to stop and make sure I create an amazing environment thanks to, you know, 2 past students, Doctors Giselle Doyle and Janine Branch-Capron. They took on a project to assist us with the creation of calendars to fund professional development week. And for me, the training is extremely important. Now our teachers look forward to coming back to school.
Well, that's a plus. So if we were to summarize, you think primarily you must consider work a happy place. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then there's no point to it. You must be prepared. So lesson planning is key here. You have to take your pastoral leadership seriously, and then you must immerse yourself in training because the journey never ends, even when you become the teacher.
Yes. Yep, you got it.
So you've seen life as a student, as a teacher, and as a headmistress. How would you say the role of teaching has evolved over the last, say, 20 years or so?
It's so different now. It's so different, and we have to keep up. We have, as educators, I think sometimes we get scared. You know, we get scared of the now versus then. And so as the headmistress of the Girls High School, I have to be constantly motivating and encouraging teachers to keep up. You know, we are coming from 20 years ago when I started at the Girls High School. You give some homework, and the next day you correcting the homework, and you'd see the difference between the students who understood and those who did not get it right. And you go over the work, and clear now these children type the homework into AI and they bring you perfect work. You know, and then you wonder, oh, we can't be scared of it. You know, we cannot be scared of it. This AI is here to stay. And as the leading academic institution in our country, we have to embrace it. We have to embrace it. We have to talk about ethics while we're using AI. We have to make sure that we caution our girls against not learning the content, but copying the content. We have a lot of work to do, but it's a different type of work. You know, we can't be left behind. So to those of us who want to say, you know, AI is a problem and they're just copying the homework, they're gonna copy it. It's a tool that did not exist while we were teaching 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but it exists now and it's here to stay. So as educators, we have to manage the technology and how fast it's going and where we need to go.
How does the reliance on AI during the school term impact performance during exams and internal and external exams?
You could see there's a clear disparity between what happens during the term and what happens at exam for some students. And sad to say, it's the weaker students because they see it as a way to level up to the others. Let me copy this work because I want to, they don't want to put in that hard work to get them to the same standard as the other students. So it is a clear disparity right now. So we have to tell them, listen, you're not fooling us. You are not fooling us. It is going to show. We have to keep reminding them that you're going to have an exam at the end of this term. You're not going to be allowed to use technology during the examination, and you have to be able to produce. So there is a disparity, but we are trying to get across. Before I can get across to the students, though, Cleo, it is important that I get across to my staff that AI is here to stay, and how we treat AI as it relates to students is going to determine ultimately what happens in their academic performance during testing.
You mentioned ethics. Is there a particular module on ethics? How is this communicated to the students repeatedly in a manner in which it could have some impact on how they use it?
Right now, we're developing an ethics code at the Girls High School for AI. We are getting ready to launch our own website. On that website, we should have our code for AI. We want to model it, of course, using our CSEC standards, and we've begun research. Mr. Petrus Gums of the NCTI came in to train the staff as it relates to AI and how the teachers can use AI to their advantage while preparing for classes. But we also started in that session giving some codes of conduct. So it cannot be responsible for more than 25% of the academic paper, So there are things, there are kinks we're working on, but we have to have a code of ethics that our students must know. Listen, we cannot tell them you can't use it.
Understood.
Not as a leading academic institution. To tell a student in this era that you can't use technology to assist you is nonsense.
What are some of the other challenges you face as the headmistress of the Girls High School?
Funding. I think I would like my legacy to be when I leave here, that whoever sits in the next chair has an easier task as it relates to funding certain programs at the GHS. We need a model that is sustainable. Right now, we don't have a model that is sustainable. And we're a big school. We're not a small school. We have 645 girls with varying needs from different socioeconomic backgrounds. So we have to make sure the lower order needs are met for our students before we expect those higher order needs. And those are not things we can go around advertising, Oh, the student doesn't have electricity, the student don't have internet, the student don't have, these are not things you can constantly go around advertising. It's not good mentally for the student, but the school needs to fill the gap at some point, basic things, basic things that it would take to make sure that we are okay as an institution. So for me, finances would be one of, I think that's our making sure that the next person has it easier. I think I want to develop those type of systems.
How do the past student house groups fit into helping to deal with some of these challenges?
Son, the GHS would not be the GHS without our past students. And I can't even describe. They have been getting a little emotional. They have been like literally my backbone since I got here. You know, every time you wonder, okay, how are we going to get out of this situation, or how are we going to manage this, or we'd like to implement X, Y, and Z, our past students are always very clear. They are always, for those who cannot help financially, they are there with their time, their talents. That is not something, you know, you could put a price tag on. A colleague of mine came from Grenada, and he came to the girls' high school because he said to me, the schools in Grenada are fascinated with this school that got 98.9%. So he came here to find out what our secrets were. And you know, he walked from staff room to staff room to staff room, and we gave him some of the things that we normally do. But at the end of it, I said to him, the one thing that your school does not have are our past students. And he looked at me and he said, what do you mean? I said, that is a part of our secret recipe. We always have a past student who is willing to assist her school in whatever way. He does not have that missing component. That is the missing component. So he, you know, and as I walked through the school and different programs, I said, well, this is funded by a past student. This is led by a past student. We have past student groups, sporting groups that have now become pillars of strength, not only around sports time, but all year round for some students. You know, we thank you all. We just could not do it without you.
Pure Vincy was able to catch up with each of the representatives of the past student house groups, and they shared with us the work that they are doing for their baby sisters at the girls' high school. Most of the past students have formed house groups. So there's the Grimble house group, the headmistress house group, the staff house group, and the Moffat house group. And we have our friendly rivalries, and then we have our things that we keep close to our chest. But I think everybody's objective is to give back to the school in some way, maybe not necessarily in a personal capacity, but as a house. What is Grimble House doing?
Well, our group is phenomenal on getting things together. We have supported our students, be it the athletes and the non-athletes, in giving gifts for participating in Sports Day. We've done the uniforms, we've done fundraisers, selling t-shirts, you know, fundraiser is a big thing. We've also provided a lot of mentorship and support, because it's not just, you know, about the sports part and about that rivalry, but also I know Pearl and Donnet, you know, participated in the assembly, you know, motivating them, their physical, not just their physical space, but their mental and space needs to be challenged as well and encouraged. So we have done a lot of things all around, I would say, to really recognize our athletes and our students in our house.
What do you look forward to in terms of the contribution of these past student house groups?
Well, of course, we do need financial contributions, because that's what really supports our students. But we also look for people who can mentor. We look for people who can provide that physical presence, because I, for one, I am there waving my flag every single house from abroad. I have not been home for a house meet for 33 years, and I'm hoping to change that this coming year, cross fingers, because our students look to past students for that support. We've been through it. We know, how it's been. We know the ups and downs. Grimble had a couple of years where we were on top, then we were in the middle, then we've been at the bottom. But in all, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen how much the Grimble spirit still keeps our girls top, keep them motivated no matter which place they are in that lineup from first through fourth.
How is
Yeah.
Headmistress House supporting their students?
Well, Headmistress House has incorporated an NGO called Blue Hearts. The thing about us, though, is that we are active, but we haven't activated the NGO. So we are well incorporated, but the group as a group, we are doing things to support students who need financial assistance, book support, and of course, during sports term, the support for the athletes. So we support with the kit for everything, every kit that they need to be participating in road relay, to be participating on the actual day. House feed, it's all supported, by all girls. And also when students come in to the girls' high school, we know who our headmistress girls are, and we, of course, welcome them and reach out to them and explain the culture of the house and that sort of thing. But to say that it is formally done, maybe this year or last year was more formal than previous years, but that has been a work in progress. Again, stretching from this renewed excitement and involvement around your competitive house agenda that the school has. I went into an office and somebody had to give me a document, and they said, "Who is that out there? My headmistress, my blue sister?" And I got the doc. I didn't know the person, but again, oh yes, don't worry, the document is coming. And we had a little old talk around house. People you don't know, but you're connected that way.
Well, the committee, just as it began, we had the house feed came up, so they were able to help out with that house feed. They had a month of K that they celebrated the intermediate champ at the inter-school secondary sports. We had been involved in that one. We didn't have a committee at the point where they had sports. So what we did, we asked through the group, we have a WhatsApp group, and we asked for donations, and we were able to give them gears for the sports, the house feed, and at present, the committee, we have a training program supposed to start at summer break. So that one, we asking all past students if they can give the time to support them at the time, to encourage them, because we want us to take up the challenge that we are putting out there. We just don't want, when we have sports, we just go there just to have the excitement. We want to have athletes also known for the sportsmanship, the strongness. Even though they're not to the top, everybody just wants staff to be last. So we don't want that. We want to show where we came from and where we would stand and keep back our crown. So we just want to put it out there so that athletes can excel in whatever discipline, not only at track and field, but whatever discipline, whether it means swimming, tennis, whatever they want to get involved, we want to be there to support them. So that is why we formed this committee, in order that we can give them whatever support, whether financial, mentorship, whatever. We just want to encourage them, to make them, because there are a lot of opportunities out there that we think the youths can get involved in and make themselves more marketable. Whatever they want to get involved, we just want to assist them.
Let's talk about Moffat, the Past Students Association. What have you guys been up to?
Being good Moffeteers, we continue to basically correspond on basically chat groups and make plans for how we can help our house from year to year. The Moffat House won the challenge the two times it was held, and we have fostered a really excellent relationship with the current student body. And so we continue to work with the student body to help wherever the needs be. We say we love where love is needed.
What are some of the interventions that you've had already?
Well, a lot of it, because it's the new hype basically started with the Randy Kennedy challenge. Even though prior to that, on around sports season, we GHS girls are back in there like
Come alive.
But the Randy Kennedy challenge has really focused, allow us to focus on really because of the competition, basically, to really focus on bettering our houses in any way possible. So last year we did a lot. We get a lot of support, and this year as well to the athletic program in particular, supplying sport kits for the athletes, from vests and tights to track suits, running shoes, or spikes as people will say. No one was left behind. We also, as we became more involved with the students, that we recognize other needs. So whether it's mentoring or providing for personal effects and the likes, whatever is necessary.
How has the change in the style of parenting impacted the students and impacted your work as a teacher?
Cleo, to be honest, I have had the support of 95, can more use the percentage, 98.9. I have had the support of 95% of our parents since I've been here. And when I see the support, they listen to me. They are not disrespectful. If the school says, let's do something, they are on board. I have had the privilege of parental support. I am not a headmistress who, I can't say I have had some unpleasant encounters, one or two of them that have really shook me. But for the most part, I have had good parents. So I can't say that the parents now are, they're not supportive or involved in their daughters' lives. No. Last academic year, as a part of our school improvement plan, we had 6 parental coping mechanisms workshops where parents came onto compound after school to be educated on different areas. And all of those programs were well received. A lot of parents came out. They listened. They're active at PTA meetings. If we have a fundraiser, they support. So I can't say that we have a parental problem here. I really cannot say that.
And what would you say about the common thought that children are less independent, less hardy than previous students in that they don't have a sense of independence and they don't have the sort of grit that previous students had?
I don't think this generation has an issue with that necessarily. Since I have become headmistress, I have started giving pins to different students who are in academic leadership. Our peer counselors, our safe space club, and our student council. Whenever we pin a group of girls, I notice how many pins they have on their chest. So some of them carry up to, I've seen one student with 5 or 6 pins, which means that she is leading, she's in a leadership position with, in those 5 different organizations. Now, Cleo, I dare say, we were good in our time. But I did not belong to 5 organizations and manage my academics and, my name calling out for mark reading and these things. This is what you're seeing now. This is what you're seeing now. So our girls are keeping up. They are keeping up. They're doing well. They are leading. They are managing. They are coping. I think where we have some issues last academic year, we experienced some issues where I think we needed to catch underperforming students a little earlier. We did not do a very good job of catching them earlier. And when I say catching them, supporting them a little earlier. So our challenges here at the GHS, we have to support the girls that are struggling. Because we have girls that do so well, exceptionally well, we believe that they're all like that, but no. And I think we didn't do a very good job of that last academic year. So we have actually formed an academic advising team at our school. Those teachers don't have forms. Their primary responsibility is to work one-on-one with 5 students, maximum of 5 students, to make sure that we give them the requisite support that we did not give last year. Okay, so we don't know the success rate of that program just yet, but based on what happened, we are seeking to correct it. And also in that academic advising group, we have students who have some challenge with, because they're differently abled. So our autistic students, oh my God, they give us a warm time. We absolutely love having them. But every day there's a different bit of excitement that they bring to us. Okay, and as I told the teachers, I told the students, they're here to stay. They've earned their place here. They're not going anywhere. So we have to learn to live with them. We have some that are not very verbal autistic, so they're on the quieter side of the spectrum. They exhibit behaviors, but they're quieter. And then we have some that their personalities are just bursting. Before you even meet them, you know what's going on. So they are also in the academic advising grouping. And who we added last week to that grouping? We added girls who come from primary schools that do not have a lot of students. So, for example, the more popular primary schools would send a higher number of girls here. Prep school, St. Mary's, we have a lot of students from Sugar Mill, we have from Lomondsley Anglican, we have from Fairhall Government, but you have schools on our island where 1 student comes here.
Really?
And it's hard. It's hard to fit in. It's hard when you don't have any friends that come from the primary school system. So we are going to make a concerted effort to look out for those girls a little more. you know, because they come from their schools and you think that they fit in automatically, but it's not until they reach to Form 3 or 4 where they find their voice. And the complaints that you hear are, Miss, I was really, you know, lost in Form 1 or Form 2, or I didn't fit in, or I don't feel like I'm a GHS girl, or so I told the teachers, I said, listen to me, we gonna get the academics down pat. But in the beginning of Form 1, we need to concentrate on integrating everybody to the girls' high school. We don't want any student to leave here and feel as though they didn't belong.
I applaud you on all of your innovations and interventions, your professional development, your academic advisors. You have, you had the past students behind you. You have your professional development workshops. It is just mind-blowing. Congratulations, and I wish you and those teams every success. We spoke a lot about the school and things that have been happening, but I must say to you that I've been made aware of some rumors concerning you, and I would like to draw them to your attention now and have your comments on them, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I remember Latoya coming up to the landing, complaining. Whoever was interfering with Latoya had a report to me to the headmistress. So she was always full of mouth.
Your principal was an athlete. Yes, a sprinter too for staff house. I could never forget. I could never ever remember.
You mean the present headmistress?
The present Latoya Deroche-John. Yes, yes. And she came from Catholic school. She used to run for Catholic school too. And when she came, lived very fast in us, so sprinters for years.
So, explain yourself.
My teachers have, I don't know, they're giving away everything in the treasure chest. Oh, my dear teachers, Miss McDowell and Miss Fraser, Mrs. Fraser. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I was always one of the outspoken ones. And yes, I was an athlete.
The girls' high school has been located on the tarmac now for a number of years. What's happening with the location of the school, and what are the possibilities of returning to the original location?
Okay, very soon we should see the demolition of Grimble Hall. We had an opportunity to go into the building. Our fifth formers, they were registered at the GHS, but that's it, in Kingstown. So they would like to go back to take some final photos. I think we would invite Olga to come back and take a photo or two, those who wish to have them taken. And then we should see the demolition pretty soon. What I would like to say, I am very grateful on behalf of the Girls High School for the upgrade to our school. Very thankful. As headmistress, I am concerned that going back to our original location, I don't want it to affect the growth that the GHS has seen over the last 5 years. We have moved to the Annisvale tarmac, and our conditions were satisfactory. The fleas gave us a run for the money. The board, the flooring, but by and large, this has been a really good stint at an environment for learning. We have no set of traffic passing here to disturb the students. They have access to the Annisvale playing field, the netball court, to go and do their training, the tarmac. It's flat in terms of a scope, a view of the entire school. We have that. The girls are exposed to more greenery. But of course, home is home. Home is home. And while we want to go home, I am concerned that we do not go back home and lose the things that we have gained here over the last 5 years. For example, we now have our on-site food and nutrition lab, Cleo. All our third formers are now doing food and nutrition again. We have fourth formers where we have up to 55 students out of 124 fourth formers doing food and nutrition. Some do it inside, some do it as an extra subject. On compound right now at Richmond Hill, we do not have an F&N lab, and the Kingston Technical Institute cannot accommodate those numbers. Our agricultural science program is thriving. I don't want them to lose the opportunities they have here.
So what are we putting in place to ease the transition?
Well, I don't think we can put anything in place. We are relying on those who are charged with this responsibility to guide us. And I trust that they will guide us, and they will ensure that the progress we've made over the last 5 years, that we continue to build on that.
With 114 years behind you and all of the accomplishments that the school has seen over that period, naturally, an institution with such a long history would see quite a few achievements, and even in your short tenure as headmistress, there have been quite a few innovations. What do you think the future holds for teaching, for leading, and for education?
You know, I hope that our girls see the importance always of the learning process. I hope they never apologize for being excellent. You know, when you attend the girls' high school, you become cognizant of excellence. It is ingrained in you. And I hope moving forward that our teachers, our students understand the importance always of being excellent. I hope that we understand that those before us encountered difficulties as you know, they climbed. The challenges come in different ways. I hope they understand that they belong to a sisterhood that is older than themselves, you know, and that they hold up the esteem, they hold the whole tradition, the idea of tradition and of legacy. I hope they understand that that is something that is bigger than all of us. You know, we have a bright future ahead. Our girls are always willing and open to a challenge as it relates to their academics. But what I see now at the GHS is also a quest by all the girls to make sure that they leave here well-rounded. So that makes me very happy and comfortable. We did an exercise for our teachers' appreciation, where I asked the teachers to line up in order of the years of service given at our institution. And what I also realized here in terms of teaching is that we're family. Some of us have been here for 20 years, 25 years. We've seen each other's children grow up. We've been to one another's weddings. You know, it's family. The GHS is family. So I hope that we keep pursuing excellence, and we realize that, you know, should something happen, that your sisters are always there to catch you.
Latoya, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It has truly been a pleasure to sit and listen to you speak. I want to congratulate you again on the interventions that you've made during your tenure. I am especially proud of the accommodation made in the advisory councils for the children who are differently abled and for those students who come in as a minority in their own way.
Yes.
Because that kind of stewardship is just so absolutely important and indispensable. I want to wish you every success in the Girls High School and as you continue in your role as headmistress. And as you said, the sisterhood will always be there for you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cleo, for this opportunity.